Howdy, folks. Welcome to the channel. I'm Don. This is Rockin' the Country. Just got to give a shout out to Terry Wood up there in Canada, Alberta, Calgary, Canada, for sending me this hat some years back. I still love sporting it once in a while. Love my Canadian brothers and sisters, the Canucks. And anyhow, Travis Meadows' song, Learning How to Live Alone. And I was just thinking about this very concept yesterday, and it's a gift request from Craig Shifflett. Craig, thank you for the gift and for this request, because there was a lyric in one of the songs, I forget who it was, just yesterday, where I thought he was going to say, I'm learning to love living alone. But he didn't say that, but that got me thinking in my own mind, man, I love to write a song or just do a video life coaching style-wise, because that's what I am, a life or situation coach. That somebody asked me yesterday, who I work with, why, like, how am I so happy all the time? And I mean, it's largely true. I'm a genuinely happy guy. I don't have to force fit anything. I'm not cheerleading anything. I just am a pretty happy dude. I like engaging with people and all that. And there are a number of factors that contribute to it, but one of them is that I'm not afraid of being alone. I don't like it. I like the idea of being with someone. I live with my girlfriend now. I was married in the past. I'm a very social creature, but I made peace with being alone. And after my divorce, I was alone for quite a while, and I didn't date. I wasn't afraid of it. I just wasn't looking for it. And I'm not a one-night stand type of guy, but I didn't want a serious relationship. Then I was taking care of my mother for a couple of years until she passed away, and then COVID struck and all this sort of stuff. So I spent a fair amount of time alone, and I'm not afraid of that. I enjoy that time as well. And I think that plays a big part in being happy. But we're going to see if that's the theme of this song or not. So, Craig, I love the timing of this request. Thank you for the gift, my friend, and the request. And Craig said that he was drawn to the channel for my Jason Isbell reaction. So that tells you something about Craig. If you like Jason Isbell, you like depth. Because you have to be a thinker to identify, first understand Jason, but to follow his trains of thought and then relate it to your own life. So let's see what Travis has. I got an acoustic version of this song, Craig.
2, 3. I need to clean up this old house. I need to take the garbage out. My boy's coming over for the weekend. I can't wait to see him. We'll order out and watch cartoons.
Oh, he's young.
Build a big old fort in the living room.
Yeah.
He's only 8 years old.
Yep.
He don't know. I stay at home a lot, alone a lot, and I try to turn the lights off around 10 o'clock. I read some, hit my knees some. I don't know what to do with all this freedom.
Yeah.
TV keeps me company when he's gone.
This is real.
Learning how to live alone. My old friends don't come around. We all choose sides when the ship goes down.
Yeah, that's a lot of people will do that. And really, I want to say, like, it's a beautiful thing when they can straddle the fence and love both people after they split, but it's very hard because people identify you as a couple. You know, if you didn't know them before you were married, let's say you met the people and they became part of your social sphere as a married couple, Like, I'm not talking about high school buddies, or friends that you knew back in the day before you met your current spouse or your current divorcee, former spouse. I'm talking about people that you met as, after you got married and moved into a new house and made friends with them and others. They know you as a couple, and then when you split, it's just odd. It's just it's an adjustment they have to make. They don't know if they're going to piss the other one. They don't want to hear the stories about how horrible the other one is, which is why you shouldn't throw your spouse under the bus. If something went bad wrong, somebody cheated or whatever, fair game, and then you say, "Look, he cheated, she cheated. I couldn't stay. That's why we broke up." Because people do want to know the backstory generally. But some folks don't have the bandwidth. They're too busy with their own kids. For example, their own lives, spouses, jobs, homes, all the stuff that they have to deal with to get involved with somebody else's sort of brouhaha. And that's just the nature of the beast, But people do choose sides, so to speak, not because close people will. They want to be your friend. If that's how they knew you first, they're going to be your friend. Even if you screwed up, they'll tell you screwed up, real friends. Look, man, but I still love you. You're my bud. That type of thing.
I outgrew my reputation. I'm on vacation. I ain't had a drink in 7 months.
Oh, he's a drinker.
To tell the truth, I ain't wanted one. The holidays got pretty rough, though I came so close.
Oh, to drinking again.
But I stay home a lot, alone a lot. And I try to turn the lights off around 10 o'clock. I read some, hit my knees some. I don't know what to do with all this freedom. I sleep better with the TV on. I'm learning how to live alone every night. Might be just what I need. I think this whole thing will wind up being good for me.
Yeah. But it's rough.
I sleep good, eating pretty good. I'm doing better than I thought I ever would. Read some, try to hit my knees some. I pay my health a little more attention. At this point, it don't matter who was.
Yeah.
It's time for growing up and moving on. Learning how to live alone.
That's interesting that he smiled at the end. So he wasn't performing. That song, I mean, did somebody else write it? I don't think so. That struck me as extraordinarily autobiographical. It was on somebody's behalf, that's obvious, but whether Travis adopted someone else's song or whether he wrote that himself, it's very, very real. And whoever wrote that song had drinking problems. That it didn't dwell on it. He didn't dwell on it in this song, but it's split. He hasn't had a drink in 7 months. But the thing that said he had a drinking problem was that he'd outgrown his reputation. Hasn't had a drink in 7 months. Holidays are tough. Sometimes you want, he said, but tell you the truth, I haven't even wanted one. And that'll tell you the depth of pain that he's in. Because when you're in such pain emotionally, that something that you would automatically turn to doesn't even appeal to you any longer. You know that the real you is coming out. You don't want to, in this case, you don't want to drink. You don't want to be in this pain. And you're a fighter. You want to get through it. You have an internal fortitude, uh, structure, if you will, that is fighting to be authentic, to be you, to be real, to be healthy, to be whole, to be the person you want to be. And his son comes over, it hurts him. And yeah, he loves seeing him. He builds forts, watches cartoons and all that stuff. And those details are just real. They're on the nose. They're on point. And, pain is a great motivator. And if you don't want to be in pain, you make those changes to keep you out of pain. And it always involves your relationships with other people. But it ultimately gets back to who are you? Who do you want to be? What do you value most in life? Do you want to overcome the habits that got you in trouble, whatever those habits are? It could just be being an impatient listener and just talking all the time instead of listening. Speaking is one of our greatest addictions. And when I learned to listen, I really learned to listen 15 or 20 years ago. It changed everything for me. And I love listening. I do. I'll talk. I'm engaging. I'm not a quiet person in conversation, but I listen. I can listen for long stretches without saying a word and be on your journey with you of what you want to share. But, being an impatient listener is as much of an addiction as smoking or drinking. For example, there are lots of things we give our attention to. Sometimes it could be playing video games, just things that just our brain is wired. Go there, go there, go there. But when you're in pain, it doesn't satisfy that itch any longer. And then you can become the better version of yourself as you go through it. He's learning to live alone, and that's important because you don't hate yourself. When you really don't like yourself, it's very difficult to be alone. Other people and other things provide distractions, but being alone, sleeping alone, if you have a certain sense of contentment that, you find the good in things, there's a goodness to being alone as well. There is. I mean, you don't have to ask permission to do something. You don't have to check on someone. They're not going to get mad at you. But on the other hand, you don't have the benefit of the depth of being with someone. So, Craig, very good choice here. I like that. And I absolutely see the connection here that you're making between Jason's real lyrics and Travis's real lyrics and lyricism. So I'll rate this, even though it's a very real story, but it's not an homage to something. This was just about his journey through it, and he provided details. And the number that popped into my head instantly was a 9.0. I was mesmerized, plain and simple. So thank you for that gift, guys. That goes in the playlist of songs of 9 and above. Have a great day. Enjoy folks with an acoustic guitar. I'll see you on another video and keep rocking the country.
Build a big old fort in the living